process in my art. Like it's natural, it's genuine. It's maybe because I have been doing for such a long time. Maybe it's from my childhood. I bring the humor because you know what? I'm not a serious person.
I grew up in Brazil, a very small city, practically a farm city, and I have a very prolific and inspirational childhood because we always were free to play on the streets, on the fields, whatever. I have a lot of contacts with kids my age, with nature, animals, and we start to do art very young. I have two brothers, one older and one smaller. My youngest brother, he has a kind of cultural center, and he shows a lot of other arts, musicians. He does visual shows, and he's always creating opportunity. The oldest one also. The oldest one is more like technical, like he's very wise in giving instructions, or whatever I need, something that I can now not calculate. He was always helpful. I was inspired first by storytelling, I believe, because I grew up like my father, my mother, grandmother. They always tell us storytelling, like those mystical things, and also we had nannies also that they always was telling those mysterious storytelling. It was unbelievable, with a lot of tradition on it. And I think that's inspires me to make my imagination to go far. I think that was my first source of inspiration, was about the storytelling. I remember my father, he's not an artist, but well, maybe he is in his soul, He always was making little drawings for us and telling the storytellings in drawings, and he merged the animals, I never forget him. He merged like the elephant and the whale, and he gave names to those animals, hybrid animals. Was very inspirational. And then we played a lot, and you are very resourceful and creative. I believe we Brazilians, we are resourceful, And we made figures from seeds and mango seeds and corn, and we went to the rivers and we collect clay from the banks, and we make our own figures, and the hair was roots, and every pebbles has eyes and things like that, and everything's in my memory. I wish I could photograph, I have a photograph, a memory that's a photography. Anyway, and all kinds of things with fabric. And my grandma, she always sold those things for it, and mostly play, because I believe as a children, the most healthy thing is to play, because it's an art, it's the basic to play. And I started with crafts very, very early, because I have the ability, because tradition also. My both grandma, they always did the crochet, bordering, things like that. They went to teach me. It was important by that moment to know how to embroider, how to do the things, and I did a lot of it. This later, after I believe 10, 12, it was in school, was the art schools. But for the girls were manual abilities, as how to embroider, how to sew a button, things like that. For the guys, for the boys, were geometry. I was furious, I went to the both. I went did all the crochet, everything, and that was a scuffle. Yeah. And that was the first art schools, manual ability. In Chicago, practically changed my art completely, because until then I was working with clay, and I was doing a lot of watercolors in Brazil. Moving to Chicago, I was fascinated by Everything, the structures, the architecture, the public art, everything. Because before I left Chicago, a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, and he gave me for my birthday my astrological chart, that's what you say. And one thing that stayed in my mind was like this, the guy told me, you have in your sign, I'm a Libra, you have a lot of air, you have a lot of water, and you have a lot of earth, but you lack of fire, he told me. And maybe you should do some activity that involves fire. I said, yes, I'm going to take a class in welding. And I went to the Evanston Art Center in Chicago, and they started to take a class of welding, but it was like, I was miserable, I couldn't do it, I was afraid, so afraid of everything, the electrical welder, the gas welder, so that the thing is going to explode. I was burning myself, my hair, everything, so I'm going to get it. And I started to weld, and I never stopped. Changed my life, changed my art, everything, I think like that's the main point in my art process, was to become a welder. Arms, strong hands, strong muscles, strong heart. And yes, I think I was strong since I was a kid. And I had to be strong in terms of physicals, of course, sentimental also, but like more to be a sculptor. I have to be strong to lift everything, to manage all the tools, to the shears, the welders, very heavy, very heavy piece of equipment, and the metal, because it's like little things they put all together, because it's heavy, and this one is heavy, it's like because to lift, when I'm in the process almost finishing it, I have to see how it's going to be, and I have to stand and lift and look at, and put back, I always was, and I am become more stronger. My hands are heavy, my hands are like strong, and maybe because I was doing things with it, it's not so delicate, because I start to work with the tools soon in my life, and just work with the clay and things like that, I was very strong opinion, in my opinions, like I always have my points, and sometimes to be heard, I had to stand up, because I was the only girl, and everybody's thinking because I was so airy, I had nothing in my mind, and then I had to get strong. I start to in this series of undergarments and camisoles and garments because of the material, I have this mesh
copper mesh, and I said, wow, that would be a challenge to transform it into delicate pieces, you know. And I think like even if I find I have a lot of recycled pieces, you know. If I find, you know, I grab. I think my main inspiration comes from the materials. For the kids in Brazil about 4 years ago, and it's called Fundação Paulo de Carvalho Foundation, and mostly it's a small place, but it's a city that's planted there, and I go there once a year, and I teach like I can't help like 100, but certainly I have space for 7 to 10 kids, and I teach a little bit of art history, drawing, clay, and printmaking, because I got a great donation. That's a press to make printmaking. It's a great press, handmade, you know, it's like a dinosaur, you know, pure iron. Why did I start the foundation? It's because, as I told you before, I want to give back. And since I was 15, I have been working with kids, and they're genuine. In Brazil, all kids are creative, you know, but they are so resourceful. I could do here, yes, I work with kids here also, but I want to open a foundation there because lots of opportunity over there. And the little that you do, it's a lot, you know. It's unbelievable because they do not have even art materials or anything, you know, but they create art of everything. They recycle, they draw, it's unbelievable. I believe if I help if one kid could become an artist and live from his art, that's what I'm looking for, you know, great opportunity. I started with David, my partner. He's an artist at the art center also, with Salvan. And we got together because we have a lot of ideas in common, and to open this business, to create, also to give opportunities to other artists. My main intention is to organize shows. Like if I have a space, you know, as I go there and I organize and create a show, I first select the artists. I see the space because I believe organizing a space is a big step for the exhibition, because you have to have the eyes to see it. Less is more. As I think today you have to promote, you have to be always there. You have to do this other business side of the art. You can't be just producing to your studio. Ideal will be like this, but even if you have a gallery that works for you, you still have to do your own things, because it comes, it starts with you, you have to be there, to be connected, to be part of it, to be know what's going in the market, to know the gossips, to see who is who, see how it works in terms of the market, it's everything. Quality in vision is going to be the line. It's going to be where everything will balance, I like pink, we all girls, everybody likes pink. I think pink is the color of the moment, not just women, I think pink is the color of the moment. Because it's pink. Pink is fresh, it's just things like that. It's like, it's happy, Is it?
Happy.
And, yes, I just think the contradiction is pink, but it's bastard, because it's like, I say bastard because you have to have the guts, have to be strong. I think once I read things from the Beatles, you have to be a bastard to make it today, There we are. There we go.